Hello everyone, thank you for coming up today. My old subscribers, thank you. And to those who are viewing for the first time or that have not subscribed, please click on the subscribe button and the notification bell so you can get notified each time we upload a new video. And to my new subscribers, thank you for subscribing. Please don't forget to hit on the like button. And this is a very interesting and happy story that just took place yesterday. And this is a differently enabled Nigerian woman who goes by the name Dorothy, who announced her forthcoming wedding online. This wedding she announced online was few weeks ago, and she had this to say that few weeks ago, and it seemed something like an impossible act that would have happened to her, but she's saying that God did it twice. And this, she went on her Facebook page to share her pre-wedding photos while announcing her upcoming wedding. And this beautiful bride, which you can actually see there, who uses a wheelchair, credited God for doing the impossible twice as she shared her wedding invitation card and photos. That's her wedding invitation card, and that's the photo you can actually see that is the beautiful bride and her handsome husband. And this is what she had to say. My God did what seemed impossible, and yes, he did it twice. This is what the bride Dorothy Osaronu, who is from a royal family in Eleme, Rivers State, Nigeria, had to write this. And her fiancé is also from a royal family in the same Eleme, Rivers State. Isn't this very beautiful? You can imagine for Dorothy to go on her Facebook page to announce this. She was taken unaware. She was in great shock knowing that she is a disabled woman and stuck to her wheelchair, whom you know that a lot of men may feel that may be a very big burden on them, and that would have given her a lot of fears inside of her heart, asking so many questions like who would accept to marry her, who would accept to be with her. But God did what seemed very impossible for this particular woman when this young man, who is also from a royal family like her, also proposed to her, and she said yes. And now that yes has turned out to be a reality for Dorothy. You can see that's a traditional wedding that actually took place yesterday. Isn't this very beautiful and exciting? It calls for a thing of joy. You can see that both couples are so excited. The faces of this lady and the Prince Gabriel Osaro, who is now her own husband. You know, in Africa, once you've done the traditional marriage, you're being seen as husband and wife. So the white wedding or the church wedding is just an addition to what was brought up by the Western country. But now, as long as you have done the traditional rites, paid the bride price, the woman automatically becomes your wife. See lovely pictures of the couple. You can actually see that they both look happy. You see the excitement all over Dorothy's face, and it's so exciting when you see people like this also have or live life like every other person. You know, sometimes some of these physically challenged people, certain things don't really happen for them the way it will happen for people that are not physically challenged. And that is where you see that there are some sorts of setback for them. But notwithstanding, some of the physically disabled people even do things much more than you think even someone with his or her own body in order would do. Some of them have said they will not limit themselves to their wheelchair, or they will not limit themselves to the fact that they are disabled. They will still stand up and fend for themselves. Like some of them will still go out there and have some kind of businesses running for themselves. And you would even see some of them on the street. You see some physically challenged people still hawking. They hawk on the street, they sell by the roadside, and that is so encouraging. When you see them like that, some people that are not even physically challenged would even be moved, because some people that are okay are still very lazy. They can't see themselves going to do things like that. And when you are in that kind of a situation and you're seeing someone that you feel he or she is not capable of doing anything, and you see them doing things like that, you'll be in shock. You'll be like, if this person who is physically challenged can do this, I too can also do that. It's also very encouraging to see that people would still have something to do with them, just like this Prince Gabriel, who now decided that he was going to marry her despite her condition being fixed to the wheelchair. He still took her and said he was going to propose to her and get married to her. And good thing, they are both from royal homes, so it's not like a situation where you look at it and say, oh, this person is after this person's wealth, the other person is after the other person's wealth. It's two royalties coming together to get married to each other, which makes the equation very balanced. Because if it's a situation where it's just the lady that is from the royal home and the guy is not from a royal home, you know, stories will make rounds like, oh, this guy is just out for the lady's money or for her family's wealth. But from every indication here, since both of them are royalties, it makes the whole thing very, very balanced and very okay. And you know why Dorothy is so excited? Because she least expected that any young man would even see the need to propose and even get married to her. And that's why she had to gush out on Facebook, expressing all her excitement and joy and saying that God did it twice for her despite her condition. And you see that there are some people out there too who don't even want you to feel sorry for them or feel any form of pity for them because of their condition. They would want to let you know that you should let them be, because they also are capable of doing things for themselves which people may not think they can. And some of them, if you check out some of them, when you start feeling sorry for them, it makes them very unhappy. They'll feel like they are just bound to that seat or their condition for the rest of their lives. Because there was even this other lady, and she said not every disabled person is a beggar, and she is also fixed to her wheelchair. She's a mobility challenged Nigerian entrepreneur and disability advocate too, and she goes by the name Fatima, and that is Fatima in her wheelchair. She is the one who is also coming out to let people know that when you are on a wheelchair, that doesn't make you a beggar, and not everyone is a beggar, despite the fact that some people have turned it the other way around. For some of them, they actually beg on the streets, and that has affected those that are not beggars. So it has now turned out to be that most people on wheelchair are beggars, but Fatima is out to clear the air regarding that not everybody that is confined to a wheelchair is actually a beggar. And she has lamented over how people with disabilities are treated like beggars. You see, that's why you see that Dorothy is so happy with her own condition right now, knowing that, look at this guy did not treat her or look at her like somebody who is disabled, but he looked at her like she is okay like him and decided that he was going to marry her. And Fatima, who was diagnosed with a muscular dystrophy in 2018, took to Facebook on Saturday yesterday to express her displeasure and also educate people on how to treat the physically disabled. She had a lot to say, knowing that most times people that are physically disabled are being treated differently. And she had this particular thing to say. I'm not sharing this for sympathy, but I just want to enlighten some people towards the way they treat people with disabilities. The first thing people notice is the wheelchair. The first thing they see is the disability, not the strength or the ability in every disability. She went further by saying, I could remember during last year, I went for my JAMB exam. I was asked to stay somewhere downstairs because I couldn't climb the stairs with my wheelchair. And this guy walked up to me and gave me a money, and I asked what for, and he said, I thought you are. He couldn't finish his statement, and I told him, I'm a student here just like you are. Though I was very hot that day, but I don't blame people for that. But this mentality has to stop. Not every disabled person is a beggar. The one thing that hurts me more is being treated like your life has ended. You even get abandoned by those who are supposed to care for you, most especially in this country. Once you have a disability, then you are tagged useless. You have no use. Reason why we don't have opportunities like the able-bodied. Why are we different? Going out is a nightmare for me. I get lots of stares wherever I go as if I am the first wheelchair user on earth. That doesn't bother me though. What bothers me is being carried everywhere. Why? Because our environment isn't wheelchair friendly. The roads, malls, restaurants, schools, heck, even some private hospitals aren't wheelchair friendly. You have to be carried around, and that makes it hard for us to be totally independent, and there's nothing as depressing as depending on someone else. This has to stop. Something needs to be done about this. We need the job opportunities too. We need to work and school without going through so much stress. We need to interact with people effortlessly. We need to be treated like we deserve to live too. Please help make life easier for people living with any form of disability. We never wanted to be disabled. We never wanted to be on wheelchair. But we have no choice, and it doesn't happen by choice. And that is the story Fatima had to share, which is really true if you look at it critically. Some of them are not happy when you start treating them like beggars, or when you start treating them like they are useless. And you see why there is expression of joy from Dorothy too, knowing that this made her feel she's being treated differently, not like being a disabled person, but she was treated like she is an abled person, for an able-bodied man to say yes to her. And what Fatima was actually saying is even true, because sometimes, you know, some people that are in the wheelchair, they are confined to the wheelchair. It's not like they enjoy being in that wheelchair, but just that is how the whole thing had turned out for them, and they want to be treated like able-bodied people. But you find out that it doesn't happen in most cases. It's rare for it to happen like that, because some people turned out to be beggars, and it had soiled the names of those that are in the wheelchair, that are out to fend for themselves and to be dependent on themselves. They are able to walk, go to school, and do things like every other person. With what Dorothy is expressing, her joy and gladness, I think it will give a sense of happiness and love to other disabled people, knowing that there are people out there too that still see them and appreciate them, and not cast down on them or push them aside from having anything to do with them. And what Dorothy has said, I guess it would encourage people too to treat physically disabled people like every other person, because that is how some of them want to be treated, like every normal able-bodied human being. Friends, what do you have to say regarding this? The expression of joy from Dorothy, seeing her in her lovely attire with her husband together. You can see these are happy couple together, and she has expressed so much happiness because she least expected this to happen, and that's why she accredited it to God alone. This can only be God. And also Fatima trying to let people know that not all physically challenged people are beggars and they shouldn't be treated like such. She wants an opportunity where physically challenged people should also be given an opportunity to work, to school. Even despite their condition, they should be given that opportunity to do things like every other able-bodied people. Please, if you have anything to say regarding this, you can put that down at the comment section. Thank you for coming up today. Please don't forget to hit on the like button. Also subscribe and hit the notification bell so you get notified each time we upload a new video. Thank you. God bless you all.